Is Harbor Freight a good place to get preparedness supplies? Today, I'm going to go over 20 or 30 items that you can get at Harbor Freight, and I'm going to tell you which ones are good, which ones are good enough, and which ones you should probably avoid. At the end, I'm going to go over one thing at Harbor Freight that I bought that might be the best and lowest cost option there is out there, believe it or not. Now, Harbor Freight isn't Home Depot or Lowe's, but it isn't the dollar store either. You're not going to get the Craftsmans or the DeWalt's or even the Ryobis, but they do have some decent products there. And there are a few reasons why Harbor Freight might be a good option to buy some of your preparedness supplies. One is some things you absolutely have to have the best of, but some things you don't. And at Harbor Freight, you can get those lower cost items that are going to perform pretty well. Another reason is if you already have something that is high quality and you just want a backup for it, there's no reason to go out and spend a whole lot of money on that when you need it just for redundancy or to let somebody else use it. And maybe you just want to test some things out. And then finally, sometimes it's just too expensive. Maybe it's not in the budget to get these name brand tools, these really expensive things that you would find at Home Depot or Lowe's. And the best thing you can do at this point is get one of these lower cost options because it's better to have something than nothing at all. So with that being said, I recently took a trip to Harbor Freight and found a bunch of supplies, and I wanted to go over those today. The first couple are containers. You've got the 5-gallon buckets, and 5-gallon buckets in preparedness, there are just so many different uses for these that anytime I see some, I probably got 10 that have never been used, and I would still buy some more if I need them. So 5-gallon buckets are great to have for a number of different things. You've also got the ammo cans that you can get at Harbor Freight. You've got the molded ammo cans, the plastic ammo cans, and you've also got the metal ammo cans. And again, these aren't just specifically for ammo. In preparedness, we can figure out a number of different uses for ammo cans and things like this. They stack easily and work out great for some of these small things we want to keep organized. You've also got gun cases and toolboxes. Again, gun cases don't necessarily need to be used for guns. They can be used for other things as well. If you want to keep radios or maybe set up a comms kit with a solar panel, a battery, things like that, you can cut out some of these spots in these gun cases and set up a comms kit. You've also got a number of different types of toolboxes and tool bags as well. They've even got a sort of a backpack toolbox, which is kind of neat. But there are a lot of options there as far as 5-gallon buckets, ammo cans, boxes, and bags, and storage containers. And then you've got solar panels and some accessories. And this is where I would be a little bit careful because you can get some pretty decent deals on Amazon for about the same quality. Now, on Amazon, you always run the risk of these super low cost Chinese made solar panels, although these are Chinese made as well, but these are a little bit higher quality than some of those that you would find on Amazon. But there are some about the same price that you could get on Amazon that are higher quality. So I would just be careful about this. If you find a coupon or get a good deal, maybe one of these solar panels is good. I bought one of the little 9-watt ones and tested it out and got about 7 watts out of it. So they work, but at the full price, I would probably go to Amazon or somewhere else and get your solar panels. And they've also got batteries. They've got the Thunderbolt batteries. They've got the regular alkaline batteries and even the rechargeable batteries. And these are, sort of along the same lines as a solar. You can get with Amazon Basics, you can get, batteries that are around the same price, maybe, a little bit more expensive, that are going to do the same job. They're going to have the same capacity and run the same type of equipment. So, batteries, again, if you find a coupon, then, maybe that's a great deal. Go ahead and get it. But if not, there are some other options as well. On this too, as said, coupons a couple times, and this is Harbor Freight's model, right? They send out emails every single day, so make sure and jump on their email list, and you can get a bunch of different coupons for any given day. So it's really there are some things where you'd pay full price for, but there are a lot of things in Harbor Freight you'd want to wait till you get that coupon. You can also find inverters at Harbor Freight, and some of these can be pretty expensive, and the modified sine wave inverters are, just, I would just be leery about this, again, with the coupons. I'll say it again, if you can find a good coupon and just get a really good deal, then go for it. Otherwise, there's just better options available. And you've also got the rechargeable fans. A lot of their power tools and everything take these batteries that these rechargeable fans do, and these are nice in the garage. Some of these even have USB ports on them, so you could charge something else from this battery. But rechargeable fans, it's always good to have one or two of these, and this is something you don't need to spend $100 on. You can get one of these fairly inexpensively. They've also got a number of different extension cords there, which is always important when you're talking about an emergency or a disaster where the grid is down, because whether we have an inverter or a generator coming from outside, we need an extension cord to run that inside, or we have a portable power station or something set up inside and we need to get light to a certain room or a certain part of the room. Having extension cords and the right extension cord as far as size is really important. So you can get these at Harbor Freight as well. They've got a number of different light sources, from flashlights to headlamps to even the rechargeable outdoor solar lights, garage lights, the little gun lights sort of thing, the floodlights, just a lot of different options for lighting in an emergency or a disaster. And this is one of those things I think it's important to have one or two really quality, well-made flashlights, but I've probably got 20 or 30 low-cost, inexpensive flashlights all over the house, and most of them work just fine. They've also got camping stuff and home security items as well. They've got tent stakes, fire starters, even a slingshot that may be useful in an SHTF situation. And the home security stuff, I'm all about the old school, simple type items, and the door or window alarms fit this to a T. These are things that I can put away right now, and then in a situation where I'm worried about that, I can put these on the doors and windows, and they're going to work without a cell phone, without internet, without power at all. There's also security lights, security cameras, just quite a few different things that you can look at. None of them are super fancy, but they will get the job done, and they are better than nothing. And I mentioned the batteries for the cordless drills, but there's all sorts of power tools and things like that there as well. Again, these are not your high quality DeWalt's or anything like that, but they will get the job done. And some of these are low cost enough. It may be good just to buy something just to see how they actually work. I would be careful though with anything you're spending a few $100s on. You want to be careful with that because you want something that is going to work. And with these, you get what you pay for, and you really can't be disappointed if something in this price range breaks on you. So this might be a situation where you already have something that is good or top of the line, so why not get something that's good enough for redundancy or as a backup? They've also got hand tools, which are a little bit more friendly on the pocketbook or the wallet. They've got hammers and saws and screwdrivers and socket sets and all of these different things, the car repair tools that you might need, the wrenches. They even got tire fix-a-flat kits. All of these lower cost tools that you don't necessarily really need the top of the line snap-ons or, the snap-on screwdrivers or anything like that. They're nice to have, but these are going to do the job just as well. So there are a lot of these items there. The ratchets for the socket sets, maybe you're a little bit leery about that, but get one, test it out, and see what you're in for before that emergency situation happens. But there are a lot of hand tools that you can get at Harbor Freight, and they will do the job well at a fraction of the cost of some of these big box stores. Now, you've also got knives, and these I would be a little bit leery about. These are not knives that you would want to have as your primary knife, right? These are $20, $30 knives that are going to get the job done once or twice, I suppose, but not anything that you would want to risk your life on. They have a Rambo style knife, which is, you know, it looks cool and all, and maybe a good gift, but it's just junk. It's got the hollowed out handle, which means it's not a full tang knife, and it's bound to break sooner than later. But they also have some box cutters and even some drywall saws and things like that that, you know, would be decent. You can get a couple of these, again, like I said, maybe as gifts or something else, but get a couple just to test them out. But they are not something that, you know, you'd want to bet your life on. And I did a video on this a little while back, but they also have a survival kit there, which is honestly halfway decent. You know, I don't know that I would keep this kit intact the way it is and stick it in my bug out bag or my car, but there are a lot of pieces in this kit that would be useful, you know, in other kits or outside of this little box. Plus the box is pretty nice as well. If you want to watch that video, you can watch that here. But for 25 bucks, this may make a pretty good gift also for somebody, or, you know, something that you might want to just check out. They've also got the gardening and outdoor sections where they've got a lot of different tools like rakes and shovels and hatchets and axes, a lot of different things that would be useful, things that we don't necessarily think about as preparedness supplies. But in a lot of situations, they absolutely would be those things that you need. You think about earthquakes, natural disasters, hurricanes, where you may need those axes and those shovels and things like that. So having these on hand is always good. And if you don't use them a whole lot, you know, going to Harbor Freight and getting a couple of these might be a good idea. Now, a couple of the axes and things like that have these plastic handles, and I'm not real sure how much I trust those. But, you know, maybe buy one and test them out and see what your options are. If that handle does break, what your options are for adding another one on there. You've also got PPE, personal protective equipment. You've got gloves and masks. They've even got bodysuits, although I'm not sure how high quality that is. And their masks say they're not medical grade, but they would still work. They've got a whole variety of nitrile gloves from, you know, 2 mil up to 7 mil, the really thick ones. And they've even got knee pads and things like that. There's a lot of PPE there that you could buy that is good enough. Maybe you get some really good N95 masks and then a couple from here for those situations that you don't want to, you know, bring out the good stuff, basically. They've also got plastic wraps and tarps and blankets and things like that, which could be important in a number of different situations. The plastic wrap could be used to make shelter, to seal up windows, to keep heat inside. You've got tarps that could be used for shelter. You've got blankets that could be used for warmth. A lot of different reasons why all of these are really helpful in a survival situation. And I talk about plastic wrap all the time, but it's always good to have a little bit of that laying around just in case, regardless of which type of disaster you're thinking about. Along with this, you know, shelter building idea right here, you've also got zip ties, cordage, tapes, glues, things like that. Zip ties have a number of different uses. Also, cordage, you know, comes in handy for a lot of different things. And the glues and the tapes, you just never know when it's always the small details that are going to mess up your plan. And having these zip ties, this cordage, the glues and tapes and things like that really might make a huge difference. It's going to be one of those things you're going to be glad you have it if you do need it. Now, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned what my favorite item at Harbor Freight is, and something that I think is a fantastic deal and something that is really dependable, and that is the Predator generators. I have the 3500, the Predator generator inverter, and absolutely love it. The reviews on these Predator generators are absolutely fantastic. A lot of people, the campers and RVers, love their Predator generators. You can get these generators at a fraction of the cost of, say, the Hondas or the other ones. and they work just about as well. The Hondas are going to have, a little bit more efficiency. They're going to have better warranties, but these Predator generators, you're not going to be disappointed if you get one of these. Now, I will say they have a little Predator power station that they just came out with. And from what I've seen, that is absolute junk. And with the amount of different power stations there are available these days, there's no reason to get something that is not going to work. So I would steer clear of that. But the inverter generators work wonderfully. And they also have, regular generators, gas powered generators. Some of these Predators are dual fuel. So you can get a really good deal on one of these. You don't have to break the bank and go spend a couple $1,000s on a Honda inverter generator or anything like that. At Harbor Freight, you can get one that is really going to stand up. I've had mine for about a year now, and I don't use it a whole lot, but I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. Now, generators and inverters can take up a pretty big chunk of your preparedness budget. And also, if you don't have a whole lot of room, it might not be an option at all. Again, there are different sizes, but if it's not an option, I've got a video I did a little while ago about generator alternatives, different things that you can do, say if you live in an apartment or somewhere where you're not able to get one of these generators. Take a look at this video here that goes through some alternatives if generators are not an option. With that, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification to get notified whenever I upload new videos as well. But with that, take care and prepare, everyone. We will talk to you all later.